isometric holds and working on fundamental movement. So it's an interesting one for tomorrow, if you're available for that one. And it's pretty much all body weight, just a little bit of dumbbells. Anyway, back to today. The end is called, because it is the end. It is the sister routine of the ordeal. But I don't think it's as bad, hopefully you won't either. But it's that same template, every minute on the minute for 30 minutes, 3 exercises, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyway, I'll go over the details shortly. You're just going to need a heavy-ish kettlebell with some double grip rows and some single-sided unilateral squats. Right, let's get warmed up and then we'll go through the details. Right, it's a 30-minute team-on, every minute on a minute. So once you've done your reps on each minute, the rest of that time is then your rest, okay? So, what you need to know is you've got 3 exercises, and we're doing a 4-3-2-1 formation, just like the ordeal, remember that one. We're going to do 4 sets on exercise 1, 4 sets on exercise 2, 4 sets on exercise 3, straight back to the start, 3, 3, 3, straight back to the start, 2 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets, straight back to the start, 1 set, 1 set, 1 set. So you're only doing 10 sets of each of those 3 exercises. Okay, it is quite intense, but you do your version. I'll give you some ways of scaling it down when I show you now. But also, if you want to change it yourself, reduce the reps, you do it to suit you, okay? That's absolutely fine. Obviously, the weight, again, is down to yourself, okay? Just make it work for you. So, exercise part 1, exercise 1 is upper body. 2, it's really a bit of everything, cardio. And part 3 is legs and core. Okay, so part 1 is the upper body. Power press up and bent over row. You've got to do 10 of each in a minute. So it doesn't give you a lot of time, but both of them are pretty fast movements. Okay, so 10 power press ups. Now, power press up can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Okay, so your baseline power press up, do it on your knees. Okay, up and as fast as you can, just tap the shoulder. And then you're coming down as you're returning that hand to the floor. You want it to be as fast as possible. However, you still want that full range. Okay. It might just be the same thing but on your toes, okay? It might just be that. Get your hands to leave the floor. Okay, that's the first, getting that first steps towards getting the clap press up, which is that. Okay, if you do either of those, just make sure you're working on the landing. If you don't want to land like a ton of bricks. Okay, if you watch you land with bent arms, so you just absorb the impact, okay? But if you've now got a shoulder type 5, trust me, you're going to feel it in 10 sets. So, you're going to know about it however you do it. Okay, so 10 of those, and then however you choose to do them, then quickly up, and then you're going to do some pull to complement that push. So bent over row, so you want a relatively heavy kettlebell, underhand grip, to maximise that contraction. You go overhand, it's more upper back, maybe we want that, so we go underhand there, between the heels, knees apart, yeah, keep that tension, hips up, and then pull to like belly button, yeah, and really squeeze them nice and high, full range, 10 reps. Okay, so that's minute 1, 2 exercises. Okay, exercise 1, we'll be doing 4 sets of that on the first round. Then we'll be moving on to part 2, which is burpee to double plyo squat. So we're only doing 6 reps though. Okay, so ideally you want to be this. So you've got your burpee, then you're in, and then it's 1, 2 plyo squats, nice and deep. You've got to do 6 of those. What you can do is obviously not go chest to floor, or you can do 5 or whatever. To be fair, 6, most of the inch you manage that, I reckon. Okay, and ideally the squats should both be full depth, but again, hip mobility dependent, just go as deep as you can. So 6 reps of burpee, double plyo squat, and then the last part is legs and core combo, so it's a unilateral squat. Okay, so you're going to rack that kettlebell. I want you to do the whole 10 on one side. Morning, Steve. Okay, so you want a good rack position first. Good rack position, you're going to be out here. To be there, hand under chin, thumb touches the collarbone. Okay, so you're really holding it in tight. Okay, then I'm going to go in nice and deep as I can, which ideally is going to be full range like that. Knees apart, knees over toes, drive up, 10 reps. All on that side and you're done. Okay? Every time you do that, you just swap your sides. You'll end up doing 5 on each. Okay? So that's it. That's your exercises. Let's get through them at the end. Then we've got a finishing challenge. We'll be attempting some Turkish get-ups. Don't worry, we've not done them before. We'll thoroughly go through the floor and we'll go nice and light. Okay. Right then. 30 minutes. Non-stop. Okay, so we're in. The only rest you get is what's left of each minute, okay? Remember, we're doing 4 sets on each, 3 sets, 2 sets, 1 set. Just get that first one out of the way, it ain't too bad then. Right, okay. Right, first one then. 10 power press-ups, 10 bends over row. 3, 2, 1. a very leggy routine. A lot of legs. A lot of legs in that and the next one. Okay. Get ready then, second set. That's it. Right, 2 more sets. Get them breaths in. Come on, in your own time. We're right in.
I need to breathe. Will you let me? Give me a reason for you to stay. I need to breathe. Will you let me? Give me a reason for you to stay. I want you right now. I need you right now.
to side one. Right, come on.
Like a wave in the ocean, disappear my emotion. You kill my devotion. Oh, you kill my devotion to you. Last time I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you. And last time I've been looking for you. You're the mercy of the crown. And I beg you, could you let me down? I'm gonna spin this thing around.
Really push your knees out all the way up. Still a few people who've got that knee cave and they're coming up. Push out. Push up and out at the same time. Okay, it'll save your back really well. Right, okay. Side two.
Like a flame of fire, you turn me when I sit in my desire.
do one more of them? Come on! Okay? And it's probably the hardest, or certainly the most complex exercise there is. So if you've not done it before, or you're still relatively new to it, go right next to nothing. And in fact, look, in here, if you look right at the bottom, we've got loads of 4 kilo, but full size kettlebell. So the same size as all the kettlebell, they're 4 kilo. So it gives you that same feel, and it looks like it. That's good. Okay, however, only 4 kilo, which is great for practicing your Turkish get-up. Okay, so don't worry. If you need to scale down and use a light bulb, please do. This isn't a fast finisher. We're not going 100 miles an hour here. This is very slow and controlled. Okay? It's very, very demanding on the central nervous system. So you don't want to rush this. You're basically doing, again, it's EMOM at 6 minutes, and you're doing 2 Turkish get-ups. On the right, plank if you have any rest left. Plank. And then on the next bell, 2 minutes on the left. If you don't get too good, that's fine. You start to the side. So what? You're doing continuous Turkish get-ups. You have to live with it, okay? But if you do get too good, then you get some rest. Okay, so let me show you. I'm not going to use my phone. I'm going to go right so I can talk while I do it. Bear with me. Just use a nice light one. So look there, you've got these full size, but light. Anyway, here's what we're doing. So you're going to take your time on this, don't go crazy. Watch carefully. Right. You start putting on a Turkish get-up. Right. There, look. This is very important. This is one of the things that people get wrong. They start coming in from here. Well, you've got a heavy weight. You're never going to internally rotate that way. So you start point there. Okay? Don't go back to the floor with your kettlebell. Your elbow is on the floor, not the kettlebell itself. Work inside, plant the heel. Okay, then you're going to press, lift that shoulder. You see these hands flat? Then lift that shoulder. Finally, lift that elbow. Right, I'm up here now. Most people don't have a problem with that. This is where the issue comes in. So look, my work inside is flat. Lift my hips up. Sweep the knee under the hip. Okay, that's the bit that people have trouble with. That. Okay? Another thing is people do it, but they don't come under their hips, they go. And then it's a real struggle there to go anywhere. Get right under the hip. And you can come up. And then finally, you just rotate to that position if you need to. Okay, then you're in that overhead. Then you go back the way you came. So non-working side down first, because that's the one. You're going to sweep back under, back. Okay, one more time. Press, lift, lift, lift. Lift the hips, and then your non-working side sweeps under, up, up. You can rotate into that position if it helps. Okay, and then back the way you came. And then any time you do 2, any rest you get left, you go to plank. Okay? Well, 6 or you? We'll go 10, okay? There's a 6 there if anyone wants it. 2, if you can. If you get time, 2 on the right. No, you won't have time in a minute. Just 2 on the one side. Plank the remainder. Then on the next minute, switch sides. So you end up doing 3 sets of 2 each side, okay?
No, it's fine. I was thinking, sure.
Right. Okay, right. Like I said, this is not about going mental. This is about neural pathway, mind to muscle control, proprioception, it's awareness of where so tough. That's why it's demanding on the central nervous system. Okay, so take it steady. The song kind of reflects that. It's a mad song, like the end, the finish. Find the track. Right, okay. So choose a side to start then. 2 reps. And then find the remainder. Okay, here we go. Ready? 2 Turkish jumps. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Sweep, up, all the way up, and then back, away, keep it on locked, up, keep it locked, that's the key, keep that arm straight, no matter where you go, that lock.
Yeah, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end of all every life. The end of everything that stands. The end, no safety. No surprise, the end. I'll never look into your eyes again. Can you picture what will be so endless and free? Desperately in need of some stranger's hand in a desperate land.
they aren't easy. But every time you do this, you'll get better and better. And your first walk course to get mobile, which is what's coming up. Right now, total mobility. Half an hour, deep stretch and mobilisation. It will transform the movement here and out there. So, we're coming right up in a second with that. See you in a minute. Well done if you stuck with that all the way through. What a killer. We're back to round number 1. Hold fast if you're just tuning in. Seriously. Join in. Hi there. Anitas, hello. Thank you. Join in. More or less all body weight tomorrow. We're working a lot of isometric holds to really reinforce those good movement patterns. But it's challenging no matter what your level. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes or tomorrow, 9:30. Well done, everyone.